So the guy that pretends to be a woman recently followed an actual woman into a Gold's Gym locker room. She was disturbed and the actual woman had her gym membership revoked. Now, the guy pretending to be a woman is speaking out. He kind of looks like an idiot. Check it out.
But could you understand her being uncomfortable?
Well, I certainly do not understand it, but I do get the notion of the fear-mongering that she's perpetuating.
Got it. The actual woman is perpetuating fear-mongering. By the way, this guy's lipstick looks phenomenal. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. This is where we help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. Now, what is unfortunately not a new phenomenon happening is men pretending to be women going into women's locker rooms, then the actual women complain and they get their gym memberships revoked. I wish that was a news story. We've heard this time and time again. That has happened again. But here's the new part. Normally we just see the victims speaking out. It just makes the gym, Planet Fitness, in this case, Gold's Gym, makes the gym look absolutely ridiculous, and I think we can all empathize with the victim. You are a woman, or you're a woman or a father whose daughter was in there with a man. You said something as you should, and you had your membership revoked. But here's the new part. We not just hear from the victim, in this case, the perpetrator speaks out, and he looks like an idiot from the get-go. God, he's wearing lipstick. And the more he talks, the more he looks like an arrogant, psychopathic perpetrator. So I'm glad he's talking. He deserves to look the way he actually is. So we'll hear from him coming up in a minute. But first, here's a quick video showing you the event. The lady, she came out, you'll say, well, she's talking to a man. Yeah, that's the man pretending to be a woman. He doesn't put that much effort into it. She is confronting him. You can tell the woman him because he went to the trouble of wearing earrings for this video. But they're in Gold's Gym. She's confronting him. Another man steps in on her behalf as a man should. So here's a quick snapshot of the actual event.
Did you tell me or not that women like to see dick?
I'm asking you a fucking question.
Exactly. Get out of the way. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the...
I like her point. Now he knows how to be a man because an actual man stepped in on behalf of the woman. I like that.
Women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that shit. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No. The video. You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
So he frolics right back into the women's locker room and she has her gym membership revoked. And before we hear from the perpetrator, let's hear more from the woman.
I just had the worst experience ever at the gym, at Gold's Gym, and I think this is probably happening at gyms across America, where like trans women are going into the women's locker room and not really caring about how women feel about it. And it's really hurtful, yo. Like, how you gonna say you wanna be a woman or that you are a woman, but you don't give a how women feel? Today I was naked in the locker room. I turn around and there's a man there in boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed the sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion and they actually chime in and say, yo, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here. And then I talk to the people that work at Gold's Gym and they don't really have anything to do. They just like, oh, we can file a report about it, incident report. What the is going on? Like, listen, how can you say you're a woman or you want to be a woman and you don't care how women feel?
Well, I'll cut to the chase. He's not a woman. He says he's a woman. He does, in fact, have male genitalia, which is kind of the lie detector test in this case. Now, I certainly, the perpetrator in this case, I support his right to pretend he's a woman. I stand by that. Freedom is a beautiful thing. It's not me to impose my values onto others and call that freedom. No, that'd be tyranny. While he has every right to pretend he's a woman, he does not have a right to go into a woman's locker room. That takes away the freedom. You heard from her, it's violating. That is him tyrannically imposing his imagination onto the actual reality of other people. Thus, he doesn't have a right to be there. He can pretend he's a woman in public, not in women's restrooms, in his home, but not in women's restrooms. And of course, goes without saying, shame on Gold's Gym. Shame on Planet Fitness for allowing this kind of thing to happen, one, and then two, actively protecting the perpetrator while going after the victim. They're not revoking the membership of the objective man. Remember, the lie detector test is male genitalia. They're not going after the man who is violating women's spaces. No, they're going after the victims, revoking their memberships. Now, the interesting thing in this whole story is the perpetrator, the man in lipstick with earrings, he is speaking out. And I think that's fascinating, and I am glad it's happening because you get to hear more of this person, who they really are. And you can ask, I have my opinion, you can ask yourself, okay, would I feel safer having my wife, my daughter in a locker room with this guy? Ask yourself that at the beginning, and then listen to him talk. Ask yourself at the end, do I feel safer after hearing him talk, having my wife or my daughter in a locker room with this guy? So TMZ did an interview with him. They're a reputable media outlet, but nonetheless, they got this reputable woman to do an interview, and here's some of what he said. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, did you know there's one phase of sleep that almost everyone fails to get enough of? And this one phase of sleep is responsible for most of your body's daily rejuvenation, repair, generating weight loss hormones, controlling hunger, boosting energy, and more. I'm talking about deep sleep. And if you don't get enough of it, you'll probably struggle with cravings, slow metabolism, premature aging, and even worse conditions. But why don't most people get enough of this number one most important phase of sleep? Well, a big reason is magnesium deficiency, because 80% of our population is deficient in magnesium. Now, before you go out and buy just any magnesium supplement on the market, understand this: most contain just 1 to 2 forms of magnesium, when the reality is your body needs all 7 forms of this most essential sleep mineral. That's why I recommend Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of magnesium designed to calm your mind, help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. My experience is the deep sleep benefits are very noticeable. For an exclusive offer, go to bioptimizers.com/JPReacts and use discount code JPReacts to save 15%. And if you subscribe, not only will you get amazing discounts and free gifts, you'll also ensure your monthly supply is guaranteed. That's bioptimizers.com/JPReacts. Now back to the video.
And she's joining us now. Alexis, welcome to Team Z Live.
Hi.
Hey, Alexis. So we spoke with Tish, and she said when she came face to face with you, it was obvious to her you were a man. So, you know,
how'd she figure that out?
Graphic here, but can you kind of explain, you know, how you appeared? You know, do you believe that she was reading something in that you didn't appear to be male? She perceived you to be such.
They're just like sugarcoating that as much as, like, how can you imagine how she got the wrong impression that you're a man?
I told the people that raised me that this is the way that I was when I was 8 years old, and really I stuffed it down pretty deep, and I began using hormones this year in February, and I actually relinquished that information to her about...
Doesn't change the fact that you're a man. It means you're a man on hormones.
You know, name change, and it says female on mine.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize that. He changed his name to Alexis. By golly, I'm sorry. I thought your male genitalia was male genitalia. I didn't realize you went to the trouble of changing your name and therefore are a woman. That is my mistake. Boy, is my face red.
ID and hormones, and I mean, I'm registered as a female with the gym. So.
And were you at that moment, because she told us about a couple of different encounters, were you fully clothed at that moment?
Well, she has become aggressive with me on 4 different occasions, actually at different locations in Los Angeles at Gold's Gym. But,
by the way, the perpetrator is trying to play the role of the victim. Just make sure you see that through this whole thing.
I was enrobed in a towel on one occasion, and this last time I was clothed the entire time. Yeah.
Okay. Again, I apologize if this is too graphic, but I just think it's important. Have you...
Let's speak truth, baby.
Okay. Have you fully transitioned?
Be clearer when you say that.
Your genitalia.
That is a process that requires a quite lengthy...
I like how this guy says, yeah, speak truth, and then he won't give a straight answer. Instead of just saying, yeah, I have male genitalia, he has male genitalia.
Work. Like, for instance, I sat in a chair and had hair follicles removed from my face for 2 hours yesterday in a process called electrolysis.
That's what a real woman has to do.
In order to have that surgery down there, one must have every single hair done that. And in order to do that, it would take we'll just say a year or two to have that done. It's literally not even a possibility with where I am in my transition.
Yeah, it's a hassle to become a woman. So, it's a hassle. You just throw in the towel, couple yards into the game,
So look, from her perspective, I'm just wondering if you see her perspective. She's saying that she's looking at you, say, in a towel, and you still have male genitalia, and you may be transitioning, but could you understand her being uncomfortable?
No.
Well, I certainly do not understand it, but I do get the notion of the fear mongering that she's perpetuating. The truth in the moment is far from what she is purporting it to be. Literally every time that she's done that, I've had women in the locker room comforting me because of how aggressive she was towards me.
So she was saying, why don't they have a third bathroom? Especially the gym you're talking about at the Beverly Center. That's been recently built. They had a layout that they could have adjusted, and they could have put a third locker room in. Do you think that would have been appropriate, or do you feel like you are as entitled to use the women's locker room just as Tish's?
That's a great question. I'm glad that she said it, that you have put it on the air. And the answer is that would necessitate 2 different ones, because some people trans MTF, some people go FTM. Man. And so that's 2 rooms right there. You're not going to put a trans woman with a trans man just because we're trans. That seems like a new envelope of discrimination. But
yeah, that would be inappropriate. That would be inappropriate. But what's much more appropriate is man pretending to be a woman in with real women. Far more appropriate than trans coming in from different angles, having their own locker room. I like that this guy can see how inappropriate that would be.
But it's just I feel like this had to happen.
Yeah.
In order for people to learn about trans. It's
yeah, most people want to learn more about it. That's we don't know what it is. Tell us more.
The thing, we're here. We're going anywhere. We've been here for thousands of years. There's like 10 species of animals on Earth that do this too. Just by the way, everybody.
Yeah.
And
man, I can't. I mean, I can think of humans. The other 9 species that like go into the wrong locker room, that surgically mutilate their genitals. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of those 9 other species. But this guy being so credible, I definitely believe him.
So, but about the bathroom. Am I entitled to it? I know that I'm a woman.
Yeah. We know you are.
Should they have built another one to necessitate building this room? People would have to have the level of comfortability within themselves that I do. Not everyone possesses this much self-feminine power.
Yet the problem isn't how comfortable he is with himself, it's how uncomfortable they are with him.
It doesn't happen. Not in this patriarchal system of which we've been living for so long.
I like that. And he's a part of it. He is a male. He is part of the patriarchy. I would dare say a man going into a women's restroom, getting the women kicked out, might be part of the patriarchy he's talking about, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if we're doing self-awareness today. But one thing this guy certainly has going for him is a lot of smugness, arrogance, a nice perpetrator attitude, knows how to self-victim himself anytime he's called out for being a perpetrator. So he's got a lot going for him. But nonetheless, very interesting to hear from the actual perpetrator in these violations when it's usually just the victim. We've heard from both, and now you get to decide after hearing from this guy, would you be more or less comfortable having your wife or daughter in a locker room with him now that you've heard him talk? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you. Definitely not in a women's locker room. That's not where I go. Stay free.